Hey guys, I'm back. Hopefully, slightly better recording quality. I'm not good at hair and makeup. I don't care. Anyway, I made some. I made two enemies this morning on my Facebook. I firmly believe you can't really make enemies of friends. If they become enemies, they were always enemies. I posted my response to a young lady who asked a question in one of the groups that I'm in. I did not identify her or the group or the question. I just posted my response. And that was basically along the lines of, well, look at the men in our generation today. Keeping in mind, this young lady had been subjected to a very, very, very bad man. Okay. And, my intention was to enlighten her and somehow find empathy or wisdom in what I could respond with. And that was just look at, how they grew up. And the little boys of the 70s, 80s, and 90s are nothing like the little boys of the 1870s, 80s, and 90s. They were raised in front of screens. They weren't emotionally developing when they should have been. Rather, they were hitting reset or defeating an enemy on the screen or winning. And everything is just like, you're powerful and this doesn't work good for you. Hit reset. And there's all this control and delight. And when they graduate from games, if they ever really do, they graduate into pornography. So more delight and control, power. They're not emotionally whole. They're not developed. They didn't have the training necessary to develop emotionally, to deal with conflict, to deal with anything that goes against their ego, to deal with women. And at the end of that post, I made a quip about, so essentially they're emotionally retarded. And that didn't go over so good. So I did say that. Yep, I did. I'm not sorry because it's true. And I will tell the truth. And I speak from my own life. I speak from my own experience. And I speak on behalf of young girls who aren't speaking yet on their own behalves. Women who have been shattered because of the long-term effect. And the long-term effect is emotional immaturity, which leads to a protection of the self and a choosing of self over the spouse, the partner, others in general. And so these two children, man boys, who went running and unfriended me after I posted that, basically made my point for me. So as you can see, I'm screen recording alongside this Google search. And this search took a half of a second, and I got 200,000 hits on impact of pornography. So anyway, I feel strongly about this because my family is shattered because of it. Utterly shattered. Irreparably shattered. My daughter's view of men is shattered. Her ability to trust, shattered. My ability to trust, very, very guarded. 5 years of my life, maybe it's worth something, maybe it's not completely lost, but I felt this. So when this was happening to me, I went full on covert ops. I joined a couple of groups out there designed to help men recover from pornography, one being nofap.com and the other one being Reboot Nation. And both sites welcome partners of these addicts. But what hit me when I started to read what these guys were saying was, A, how young many, many of them are, 13, 14, 15, and how they're being strangulated and they are living in a bear trap. And just how toxic and dangerous this is to their whole entire well-being. I learned that they didn't want to end up trapped like that. They didn't know they were going to be trapped like that, but they are in fact trapped and addicted. And thank God for the veterans on those sites that are holding their hands and encouraging them to come up out of it. But it's real. It's very, very real. Not to mention the trafficking aspect, pedophilia, rape. One thing leads to another. And the problem with pornography is that it's never enough. So you always have to escalate a tiny bit. And I think those people out there who have been addicted and who have been in recovery and are clean, so to speak, now can offer a great deal of insight into how true that statement is. So even though I know a lot of my guy friends may be stuck or using, I don't judge them. But it's not my job to coddle them. It's not my job to not hurt their feelings. I'm going to speak the truth and my truth. And if they don't like it, it's okay. That's okay. I'm going to speak the truth. So I say to anyone who would judge me for speaking the truth, to just walk 1 mile in my shoes and see how you feel. And to those people who are using, just look around your life right now. Look around. On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy and successful and whole do you feel? To those who would defend their rights to have and use pornography, I say, okay. So if your mother or your sister or your daughter decided to enlist into that institution, would you strongly defend the rights of your friends to stare at them while they had sex with themselves? Touché, my friend.